안녕하세요 여러분, 잘 지내고 있어요? 제 이름은 그라센인데 이전 영상에서 한국어를 처음부터 배우는 방법에 대해 이야기했었는데 여러분이 그 비디오를 많이 좋아해 주셔서 정말 감사해요. 그래서 오늘의 영상에서는 한국어 단어를 어떻게 외우는지에 대해 이야기할 거예요. And the reason why I wanted to make a video on how to memorize Korean words effectively is because I believe it is a setback for most people, and I find it really disappointing to forget a word when you just need it the most. So if that sounds like you, then stick to this video until the very end to find out how you can beat the forgetting curve and actually remember any word you learn in Korean. So let's dive right into it. The first thing that I find really helpful when trying to recall Korean vocab is to make connections between the words that I already mastered and the ones that are still unknown to me by using Korean word builders, aka hanja. And in case you don't know, hanja are Chinese characters that are used in the Korean writing system, and by knowing at least some of them, you can actually guess a word even without knowing it. And just to set an example, let's say you've heard the word 매장, and you don't have the faintest idea of what it means. Yet, you already know words that end in 정, such as 극정, 헬스정, 전유정, and it clicks to you that all of those words are related to places. So, 매장 has to be a place as well, right? And maybe you even know that 매 is associated with selling things. So, altogether, you'll find out that 매장 actually means store. Like this, you can start making connections with hanja to guess a word that you come across. And if you want to know more about hanja, I encourage you to watch this wonderful video made by Go Billy Korean. On the same note, I also like to make associations and mental images with the Korean words that I've just learned. And I know that each one of us learns differently from each other, but I consider myself to be a visual learner, which means that I learn much faster if I make visual associations. And by knowing this, whenever I pick up a new Korean vocab, I always put a small picture of what it actually means in real life next to it. So for instance, instead of only writing 의자 and its meaning in English, I always put a picture of a real chair so that the next time I hear the word 의자, my brain pops up a chair image instead of only the word chair. And I find that making visual associations also helps us to stop translating from Korean to English. So it's awesome. Have you ever heard the saying, practice makes perfect? Well, I'm sure that you have, and it's just a simple way of stating that the more you practice something, the better you get at it. So the next time you learn a new Korean word, don't just write it down and then go do something else. Instead, write down a couple of sentences using that word, because by doing this, your brain will actually start getting used to that new vocab, and hopefully it will decrease your chances of forgetting it. So just to set an example, let's pretend you've learned the word 아침, which literally means morning in Korean. Then you can make a simple sentence like 오늘 아침은 아주 춥네요, which means that this morning was cold in Korean. And just in case you don't know that many Korean words yet, don't worry, because the key here is to just practice. So don't be caught up in making fancy sentences, okay? However, if you are unsure whether your sentences are grammatically correct, you can always ask ChatGPT to proofread them. Which brings us to the next topic, which is get help from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT has been around for some time now, and it can answer just any question that you have. And in my case, I always use ChatGPT as a conversational partner to help me practice Korean words in real life situations. And to do this, you can ask ChatGPT to roleplay a certain character in a specific scenario. For instance, here I asked ChatGPT to act as if you were an employee at an airplane company who was talking to me before my trip to South Korea. And as you can see, it did a pretty good job at pretending, so ChatGPT is literally awesome. And now the next important topic that I want to talk about is reviewing. I personally find reviewing my notes from the previous day the most important thing, because if I don't remember what I've studied yesterday, what's the point of studying new things today? With this in mind, each day before I even start studying, I always make sure to review my notes. And the cool thing about reviewing is that it helps reinforce the information you've learned, as it straightens the neural connections related to the material, making it more likely to be retained in your long-term memory. Therefore, reviewing is a gentle way to tell your brain, hey bro, this information is precious and it shouldn't be thrown away. And since I touched on reviewing, A great way to review things is by using sticky notes. When I was studying for the entrance exams, I used to write down math formulas and physics topics that were harder for me to recall on sticky notes and then stick them on the wall next to my studying environment. And every single day, I would sit down to study and look at them. I cannot even stress how much it helped me remember the things I learned. So go and try to stick Korean vocab around your entire house. However, if you don't feel like using sticky notes, don't worry because you can always use apps like Anki, Drops, Memorize, and Quizlet, which are awesome apps by the way. So this was it guys. I really hope you found these tips on memorizing Korean words both helpful and practical. Remember, besides all the strategies I shared, ensuring you get plenty of sleep and maintain a healthy diet can significantly impact your ability to recall information. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the like button to let me know you like this content. If you have any suggestions for my future videos, please drop them in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Study bugs, 다음에 또 봐요.